Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our first online lesson. Our main focus today will be some throwing and catching skills. We're going to be doing lots of different stuff like throwing and catching with one hand, with two hands, with alternative hands. Then we're going to do a little bit of throwing with a partner skills. And then also, if you don't have a partner at home, you can use a wall. So in this little video that I've set up, you will see that there is different types of skills that you can go and practice for today's lesson. Before we start our skills session, here's just a few teaching points and tips on hand positioning in order to make an effective catch. Number 1, keep your starting position low and balanced with bent knees. Number 2, hands together with pinkies touching. Number 3, palms facing upwards to the sky. Number 4, fingers and thumbs should be extended to make a broad cup shape. Okay, so let's move on to our first skills for today. Skill 1, throwing the ball up with one hand and catching with two. Repeat this 10 times. Skill 2, throwing with your right hand and catching with your right hand. Repeat this exercise 10 times. Skill 3, throwing with your left hand and catching with your left hand. Repeat this exercise 10 times. Skill number 4, alternate hand catching. Where you throw the ball with your right hand to your left hand and from your left hand back to your right hand again. Now on to the clap and catch exercise. The main aim of this exercise is to throw the ball up in the air and to see how many times you can clap your hands before you catch the ball again. Start off by clapping once and then progressing one clap at a time until you fit in as many as you can between throwing the ball up and then catching it again. A really good extension on this skill is throwing the ball up in the air, doing one clap behind your back and then one in front of you and catching the ball again. The last progression you can do on the clap and catch exercise is by throwing the ball up in the air, making a 360-degree turn and then catching the ball again. The next skill we'll be moving on to is throwing and catching with a partner. The first skill is throwing the ball with one hand and catching with two, using only one ball. The next skill is by adding another ball and throwing the ball with your right hand and catching with your left hand. See how many you can do without letting the balls drop. The second progression is by adding a third ball and doing exactly the same, seeing how many times you can throw and catch the ball without letting them drop. Our last progression is by adding a fourth ball, still throwing with your right hand, catching with your left. The ball that you catch with your left have to be placed into your right hand before you can throw it again. See how many times you can do this. Moving on to our last skill for today, throwing and catching against the wall. Exercise 1, throwing with one hand and catching with two. Repeat 10 to 20 times against the wall. Exercise 2, throwing with your right hand and catching with your right hand. Repeat this 10 to 20 times against the wall. Exercise 3, throwing with your left hand and catching with your left hand. Repeat this exercise 10 to 20 times against the wall. Our last exercise for today is alternate hand catching. Throw with your right hand, catch with your left, and throw with your left and catch with your right. Repeat this 10 to 20 times against the wall. That concludes our activities for today. Please make sure that you record everything you do and please add it to Seesaw so we can have a look at it. You guys must enjoy the rest of your day and speak to you guys again tomorrow.